We usually think of a career as the straight, predictable line, but what if it's actually more like a puzzle? Today, we're going to do something cool. We're diving into one person's scattered digital archive to piece together their professional story. Let's see what a modern career really looks like when you start connecting the dots. So, it all starts with these fragments. First up, this complex integral equation. Right away, it screams engineering power systems. You can tell there's a serious technical mind at work here. Then you get this, a case number from South Africa's main labor dispute commission. Okay, so that's a totally different vibe. This points to a real-world professional hurdle, maybe some kind of conflict. And just when you think you've got a handle on it, bam, community policing. Talk about a hard left turn. This brings in a whole new angle, an interest in law, order, and society. How on earth does that connect to engineering? And finally, we find this piece, a reference to NATED programs. Now, this seems to bring us back to the beginning, pointing to a very structured, hands-on path in education. So let's recap. We've got an engineering formula, a legal dispute, a policing strategy, and a vocational program. What in the world is the story here? Well, this is the digital archive of Chingambe Chitadati, and by piecing it all together, we're about to see a crystal clear portrait of a 21st century career. All right, let's start putting the pieces on the board. The first part of this puzzle is clearly a super solid foundation in electrical engineering. This is where it all began. The journey kicks off with formal education. We keep seeing these NATED and NCV programs pop up. So what are they? Basically, think of them as South Africa's answer to the skills gap. Not just abstract degrees, but really practical, industry-focused training that gets you job ready. And let me tell you, this isn't high-level theory. Just look at the math here. These are seriously complex integral calculations for things like total load. This shows a deep quantitative grasp of power systems, the kind of stuff you absolutely need to design and manage electrical grids. And that knowledge wasn't just stuck in a textbook. It was put into practice. The archive shows this incredible range of hands-on skills, building control panels, welding, and even programming PLC systems. The brains behind all sorts of industrial automation. This is where the theory hits the workshop floor. And this learning was so strategic. The research we're seeing is all focused on real-world industry giants. On one hand, you've got public utilities like Eskom, but on the other, global tech leaders like Schneider Electric. And the topics range from grid stability to solar efficiency. This is someone who is actively mapping out the entire industry. Okay, so a strong foundation is one thing, but a modern career is all about constant growth, right? The next set of documents shows exactly how this engineering core was expanded using the tools of the digital age. This online learning platform, Allison, shows up a lot. And look at the tools being used here. A career planner, a resume builder, personality assessments. This is not passive learning. This is a proactive, almost data-driven approach to planning a career. It's really smart. And here we go, a concrete result of all that learning. It's a certificate from Atlantic International University. But wait, look closer at the topic, setting up your own company. Now that is interesting. It doesn't just show a thirst for knowledge. It reveals a clear entrepreneurial spark. So up to this point, we've got a pretty clear picture of a dedicated, forward-thinking electrical engineer. But the next piece of this puzzle, well, it's a huge surprise. It reveals this deep, parallel interest in a completely different world. You heard that right. The archive takes this sharp turn, moving from circuit boards and power grids straight into community safety and law enforcement. And this isn't a career change, it's more like a parallel path being explored at the same time. And this interest is incredibly well documented. It's not just a passing thought. We're seeing notes on tactical skills like firearms use, research into professional roles like a school resource officer. There's even a membership application for the South African Policing Union and an incomplete application to the Met Police in the UK. This is a serious, multifaceted dive into another entire profession. Of course, no career journey is a walk in the park. And this digital archive is brutally honest about that. It gives us this raw, unfiltered look at the obstacles faced and the kind of resilience you need to push through them. Oof. This quote from a labor court ruling is just stark. It's a legal decision that didn't go his way. It's a powerful reminder that this isn't just a story about success. It's also about navigating some very real, very tough professional setbacks. And that case? Wow. The timeline just reveals this incredible tenacity. A dismissal in May 2015. An application to cancel it is denied. But it doesn't end there. By January 2017, nearly 2 years later, the matter is still being pursued. That shows a refusal to just give up. And then there's the part we can all relate to, the reality of the job hunt. Rejections from top companies in both fields, Schneider Electric for engineering, Microsoft, the Met Police. These documents paint a very real and honestly very relatable picture of what it takes to keep going.
So, after piecing all these fragments together, the engineering, the policing, the constant learning, the setbacks, what does the final portrait actually look like?
What emerges is this amazing picture of a modern professional. You've got that deep technical core, right? We saw it in the NATED qualifications and those crazy calculations. You've got a lifelong learner using tools from Allison and AIU. You've got a multidisciplinary mind pursuing these parallel paths. And maybe most importantly, you have someone who is just incredibly resilient and tenacious, fighting legal battles and pushing through rejections. So this is not a straight line. It's a winding, non-linear path. And it's defined by continuous learning, adapting to new things, and having the sheer resilience to keep moving forward no matter what. This is what a modern career puzzle really looks like. And that really leaves us with one last question, doesn't it? In a world where our careers aren't these straight lines anymore, we're all kind of assembling our own professional puzzles from all these different pieces. So it makes you think, what does your puzzle look like?